everyone, and welcome to the RPGeeks, where four science communicators roll dice and tell stories. We are the aforementioned RPGeeks, and we're here to roll some dice and tell you some stories set in the world of Starfinder.
I really nearly said back to captain.
Yeah, me too.
Where am I?
Wrong campaign,
Absalom
people.
Station.
Absalom Station.
Thank you for joining us, whether you're here with us live on Twitch, whether you're watching on YouTube, or whether you're listening to the podcast, or
if you're watching right now as we record this. If so, how did you manage this?
Pre-recorded. not. It's we're live.
Face.
Oh god, I'm so confused. Okay, right, we're just gonna go.
We're pre-recorded. It's not pre-recorded in inverted quotation marks.
Imagine if we were actually live and we were pretending we were pre-recorded, so we didn't have to talk to chat. No, we don't do that. We actually are live sometimes. We're not today. Oh fuck. Okay.
It's going so well. Cover for Emily Bates. Everyone, just
started talking.
No, you got this. You got this.
Before we jump into the adventure, we're going to go around and introduce ourselves, starting with Chamonix.
Hi, my name is Chamonix. I use she/her pronouns, as does Sally Anna Maisie Creswell. Sally is a blue-haired young farmer, accompanied always by a fruit-picking robot named
Ruby.
Fruit defending. Actually, he has large guns.
Ruby.
For pest control. That's real good. Bates is showing us her guns.
Which way to the gun?
And she's been having a lot of missing years recently, and also some memory problems. Ali.
My name's Ali Jennings. I use he/him pronouns, as does Corey Vanderleer, who's undergone a little second lieutenant. Thank you. Hello. And he's been undergoing a bit of a journey, I think, a bit of an emotional journey, but feels like everything may be starting to come back into focus. So he's on the up, is the feeling at Camp Corey.
It's a worrying feeling.
Camp Corey.
Corey's a good man, leaves only someone who isn't a man at all.
And it's definitely not good. Hello. My name's Simon. Actually, yeah, sorry, that referred to me. I've just realised. Not a man, not good. My name's Simon. I use he/him pronouns, as does Snikt, my Yosoki operative, who is an associate, definitely not an equal of Corey's in the private detectoring business. But things are on the up. There's a lot of business at the moment, but also a lot of having missed a year, a lot of debt going around for both.
We've got to get paid for
Corey.
something.
But all of this is only possible thanks to the wonderful mind of our master of ceremonies, if you will, Emily Bates.
Welcome, No, hello, it's me, Emily Bates. I use she/her pronouns, and I play all the parts other than the parts that they just said they were. That's what I do, because I'm this game's Fate Weaver. So, where were we? Our party arrived back on Absalom Station to find a year had passed in their seemingly brief trip to Horizons. They found Tyver, who used to work for Eyes Wide, living in the Eyes Shut detective agency, and finally they all had a decent night's sleep.
At last!
Upon waking, however, Sally seemed confused, and it transpired that she had lost all memory of arriving at Eyes Shut, instead believing she had just made it to Absalom Station and was trying to get in contact with the Eyes Wide detective agency. The party took her along as they started looking into what might have been happening in their absence. They found that previously missing social media influencer Kim Tester had returned and was now running for Pact Council, having seemingly found a solution to the drift crisis. They visited Diamond to purchase some new weapons and armor, and Corey met an old friend from his steward days who informed him of the company making the new drift engines, Ingenium. And with that, that is where we find ourselves now. You are outside a bar in Little Akaton. What would you like to do?
I'm so glad you recapped because I'd 100%.
Yeah, the last thing that happened was
happened.
Snick laid out what he thought was a conspiracy about Ingenium.
Do you want to go through it again?
So if I remember correctly, the Kim tester has come back from nowhere, fixed the drift crisis despite being a social media influencer, which isn't really a job, but we'll get back to that. And turns out that in order to fix the crisis, you've got to get these new engines, which are made by a company called Ingenium, which is owned by Parallel, which is the company that's doing all the cloning malarkey, which we kind of got into previously in the longest day of my life, let me tell you. Which makes me think that Parallel has somehow engineered the drift crisis and then has engineered the solution to it, stands to make a lot of money. Normally when I say stuff like this, people sort of laugh at me and tell me I'm wrong, and I can't help but notice that hasn't happened this time. Why is no one saying anything?
I think he's got a point.
Oh.
You seem very believable.
Really?
Well, I don't know you terribly well, but
So
far.
Wow. Oh god, this is whoa, what a rush. Okay, what do we do?
Well,
I've never got this far before.
How does this all relate to? How does the drift thing relate to the cloning, though? Like, if you wanted to do the drift thing, couldn't you do that without the cloning? And if you had the cloning thing going on, where you make clones that'll do whatever you want, well, you don't really need the drift thing, right? You just have clones, and you make the clone the pack council, and then you say, "Hey, make sure to give us a load of money," and then they do.
Well, what you've
They're your
done
clones.
is you create the problem, you engineer the problem, and then in the aftermath of the problem, people are searching for solutions and they scrabble for whatever they're looking for. It's like a shock doctrine kind of thing. People are shocked into looking for solutions, and then you provide it with them and they go, "Oh, fantastic, let me give you all of my personal rights and securities," and suddenly you're in control of everything.
Really?
Yeah, happened before.
Well, we gotta warn people.
Well, we could warn people, or we could try and take the bastards down. I mean, admittedly, we're just kind of, 4 people stood in a spaceport, so it seems a little ridiculous at the moment. Parallel's like a multi-trillion-dollar company. What multi-trillion credit company?
Right.
But stranger things have happened.
Well, Ms. Rennell, you know a lot about running multi-trillion credit companies, and you're a successful businesswoman. So, what do you think we should do from a sensible business perspective?
I think we should take the bastards down.
I was not expecting that, but okay. Well, I would like to help y'all with that, because, maybe somewhere along the line I'll find out about the lady with the blurred face and why I keep forgetting stuff. And I do want to go home to my family, though, but I want to help you in any way I can.
Snick has 2 pistols out. And then it's going, right, let's go killing clones.
Hang on.
How do we tell which one's a clone?
I don't. Just put the guns away.
All right.
For now.
I'm listening.
Oh, I thought you lot were the investigators, so I mean, I can say what I think you should do, but
Corey's the genius. Corey, what should we be doing next? You've always got the answer.
I'm pretty much as in the dark as you. But
Jesus, that's depressing.
what's the one place which keeps coming up over and over again, which we've just not even investigated at all?
Our own office.
We were there just last night, though.
We never investigated it, though. Think, it could have been under our noses this entire time.
You're right! Of course you're right! To the office! Let's go!
Cab! Let's get a cab!
Let's get another one of these cabs! There's no cabs anymore!
It looks like there's public transport here now, so maybe we should use that, you know?
Snick jumps, grabs on.
It like loops you in.
Can someone remind me where Tyler went in all this?
Tyver went to get Marrow out of jail.
Oh yes.
Yeah, that thing.
Thanks, Tyler. Get us paid. Cheers, Tyler. Cheers, thanks. Yeah, good. Glad someone remembered that. Yeah, good.
Okay, so are you going back?
We're going back to the office. We start. It's always the ones you least
So
expect.
close, Ali. You're so close.
You go back to the office. It's as you left it.
Can I investigate? See if there's anything like under the.
Can I help?
floorboards?
Wait, I know. Mr. Bertrand and Miss Bertram and Mr. Fortnum. They know things.
Right.
Because
Right.
they'll know what they told to Eyes Wide, and maybe they'll know what Eyes Wide found, probably not. And
Well-
they were looking for you, Miss Rennell. Did they
Right.
find you?
They did, yeah.
Okay.
Well, Bermond did. She's helping out on Triaxis
oh, right.
with the. Thali, I can't remember how much I've told you.
I can't remember either.
I don't think this time
No,
round I've told you.
No, I think we just said that you did, so that we could. We said that you said everything, so that we could summarize. I
well,
think
she's
what we
helping
said.
with the.
I remember.
I mean,
I remember
I
you
think-
mentioning it.
I think one of
Yesterday. No,
one
this
of your
morning.
nibblings calls it the resistance on Triaxis.
Are they okay?
They got everyone berets. It was a whole thing. They're
So-
doing good, Thali. They're doing good.
Oh, they're all gonna be so.
Do we think that maybe the resistance might have a clue as to how we could at least find out more about Parallel, what these bastards are up to?
I mean, I don't think you're wrong. There's a reason it's on Triaxis. That's where their headquarters are.
That's their headquarters?
That's Parallel's headquarters?
It is now. Or at least
Also-
it was when a year ago it was. So,
A long time in space
well,
geopolitics.
I assume it still is. I don't know though. So,
I roll to.
Ingenium-
Can I roll to investigate
No.
what's under the floorboards?
yeah, roll you got professional in investigation, I believe now.
Well,
Professional
we've got-
investigation.
we've got a couple of leads, haven't we? We've got Ingenium, we've got Triaxis, and we never found out what happened with Eyes Wide. So,
That's correct.
like, why they were working.
It's gonna be really hard to. I was thinking, character that like we should try and figure out who in Eyes Wide is a clone, and then kidnap them, and then interrogate them. But realistically, I think.
Do we know that anyone in Eyes Wide is a clone? Do we know that they're part of Parallel?
I think it's fair enough to assume that if they're replacing significant figures, that I would replace like someone in the top at each
Yeah.
institution, especially.
You're not going to replace the reception, or would
investigating
you
me.
change the reception?
There is- There
Anyway.
is one other option, right? Who do we know at the center of all of this?
Sun.
I love your energy, Snicked. Keep it up. Tell me if you find anything down there while you're at it.
dome,
I got a
the
12.
eye, the- Art gallery.
Thali,
You got a
for someone
12.
who wasn't here for last year.
We were very
Obviously,
thorough.
you did fill her in on everything.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. So
Kim. Oh, Sonia. No,
no.
no, please, no. Kim Tester. If anyone, so we can be 100% sure she is a clone, right?
Oh, 100%.
Why do we think that?
Well, she's the primary instrument that's providing the solution to the problem that Parallel created.
Oh right. Okay. Kim Tester's
And
a
she,
clone. I'm
she
writing that
in
down.
theory, she's an influencer who is very good at influencing. Actually, wait a second. No, wait, I'm going down the wrong path. All I'm saying is that maybe she doesn't know a lot about drift travel, and yet somehow has this thing. So I'm agreeing with you, Snicked. I'm agreeing with you. What's it like down there? Do you see anything? Are there cobwebs?
I'm digging.
Yeah, what did you roll?
A 12.
You do find some papers, some bottles with
Yeah.
like this strange liquid in. The papers have various like scribblings on, almost like runes. You look at them and you're like, I've seen these somewhere before. And then you remember the day you arrived. You put them there. These are your old drawings that you put under the floorboards when you first arrived in case someone was looking for them. You were paranoid and you thought someone was after you and your mad scribblings and some weird fluids that you found.
Didn't find anything. I'm just going to cover them back up. You're still safe.
There's one more lead. There's one more lead.
Right. Okay.
Slim Jim.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think Slim Jim might be in the pocket of Parallel, but he's not at the top of all of this. Slim Jim is a clone. Of course, Slim Jim is a clone. So, hang on. How do we find out how do we test if someone's a clone? Is there a way that we can find out if someone's been replaced? You said they're like faulty, right? So how do we work out if they're faulty in the right way that they're a clone?
Well, they were faulty. They might not be faulty anymore. Right? They might have fixed them.
Yeah, we don't know. We were monitoring the people leaving Abundance, and
some of them were faulty.
Is there perhaps are there some symptoms which often crop up in faulty clones?
Smudge faces?
Never the smudged faces.
Oh, man, okay.
The main things are that they're all different. Some of them die immediately. Some of them, they're wrong. You know, when you look at their faces, you can't quite focus on them. It's like they've been mirrored or flipped or something, and they just look incorrect, but you can't quite work out why. And a lot of them have issues with processing things.
This is something that could go chiral.
She pulls you to one side, Corey. A lot of them lose their memory.
I don't remember where they came from. Okay. So, hang on. Right, let's just break this down a second. Leads. So, stuff's happening on Triaxis, or at least it was a year ago. And that's where the nibblings are. Daddy, that's where you want to get back to with your family.
2 years ago.
2 years ago now.
Oh, and a year ago. I just wasn't there. Okay.
But you were a part of the resistance.
Right.
Yeah, but
Sally
I don't
was
remember
there.
that. Yeah, sorry.
That appears to be in the memory wipe.
Well, that's one. Eyes wide.
Sorry. Oh, Snicked, if I may.
Of course.
Sally, were you... How high up in the resistance were you? Do we know?
Did I have a beret?
Oh, the Creswells were the leaders.
So we all got berets?
Instrumental in it.
Instrumental? I was instrumental.
Thalia, it all started because you found Eyes Wide, who found me.
And then we all went back together.
And then Eyes Wide left the case.
And then, but we all stayed, and we said we don't need them, and we'll do it without them, right?
Exactly that.
Right.
Good.
So, one option is going to Triaxis. One option is going Eyes Wide and finding out what's going on there. Another option is going to Ingenium, who make the new engine. Bless you.
They seem like good options. I won't lie, I wouldn't mind seeing the new engines, but also, Thalia, if you want to get home,
I haven't seen them, or I've forgotten seeing my family, and we don't have to stay long if there ain't much to do there, but it hasn't been long, and it has been long, and it's all just a bit, a lot's been happening, and I'm feeling a little freaked out sometimes thinking about it all, and I wouldn't mind like some hugs from people who I already know. Not that your hugs wouldn't.
I stopped hugging her.
Corey just immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adorable.
People who I know and don't smell, presumably.
Water's expensive. We couldn't, the bills. But so if we wish to go to Triaxis, speaking as a pilot now, it would be better to have our own ship, right? Especially if Parallel are...
That I can help with. The only thing is, travel in the drift is tricky with the means I've been using, and, well, it does seem like it's working now, and from what I can tell, the only way is with one of these Ingenium engines. We'd have to go get one.
I mean, how expensive is a spacecraft engine? If you're paying for it legitimately.
Because we
Quite
have
a lot,
1,300.
I'll take care of the engine. Is that all you've got total?
Didn't we actually
We may have
spend
less.
that at Diamonds?
I think we spent that. Yes, so that's owed. Sorry.
Right. I understand. Okay. Look, you've all been helping. I might have to put you on the payroll at some point, but let's.
No,
I
thank
can
you.
take care of the engine.
Don't want my details on any kind of official payroll. I'll work cash in hand.
There's no cash in this society.
Well, you can just
It's a
transfer me
bad
money
thing,
regularly in
but-
exchange for labour.
That sounds like a plan to me, Snick.
Accident.
So, will we need to steal this engine? Is my one.
I was offering to pay, but
But we could give it
we
the
should
old...
probably just pay for it.
Huh?
But then we could be traced, couldn't we?
That is true.
We could give it the old 4-finger discount.
You've only got 4 fingers, including your thumb, haven't you? Snake?
Exactly.
We wouldn't want Ingenium to know that, Ms. Rennell specifically was purchasing anything from them.
I mean,
Then they might be
I
onto
could
us.
Not to put too
transfer
fine
money
a
to
point.
You could buy the engine.
They don't suspect us. Well, then maybe they suspect me because I'm one of the beret people.
I mean,
They
I hate
wouldn't-
to put too fine a point on it, but it's not much good buying the engine when we actually don't have a ship to put the engine in.
Ms. Rennell has a lovely ship.
I've got a few.
You can swap engines in and out. That's how
You
vehicles work,
saw the
right?
little one
You just...
there.
Oh, you own
That's how
that?
vehicles work.
Oh, yeah. I'm
Ms. Rennell's a very successful businesswoman.
I am so sorry about the mess I left in the back. I thought that was stolen.
Thought it was a rental.
It's all right. Shira will fix it. It's fine.
So our choice is if we wish to go to Triaxis and not follow up the Slim Jim lead, which Snicked, I think, could be strong. If we do that, then our choices are either we buy and they know that we've just bought one of these new Ingenium engines and that we're just about to take off, could be suspicious, or we steal somehow and then take off and are not able to be tracked, but we also potentially have a large amount of heat on our tail.
I think if you steal a ship, they'll probably track you. Someone will. Whether it's Ingenium or not is a different thing. But
What
the
if we built
other option
a
is
replica engine?
we go in my ship as it currently stands. I just don't know how that will function in the drift.
Why don't we just pay for tickets on someone else's ship?
Because
That
we
is
might need to
also
get
an option.
get out quickly.
I'd rather have Corey flying.
I'd rather have Corey
would
fly.
rather have Corey fly.
Fly makes Corey happy.
Corey flying makes me happy.
All right, I was here
Hello.
first. All right, just
I
get that
don't
very
remember
clear.
it, but okay.
He's very good. He's,
Okay. I mean, just how good can you be? Just
All right, calm down, calm
All
down.
right.
It's not like it's...
Just wait till you get into the plane, my friend.
Okay, sure.
Right.
Sure.
You're gonna roll
Okay.
in that one day, Ali.
That's the end of the campaign.
No, I
We're all
never have to
crushed in
actually because I've got
vacuum.
the
I think you've rolled. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah,
I've got the
that's true.
precog thing.
Yeah.
All right, I see. Okay, so we buy the engine, we get it installed. How quickly can we do that?
Oh, I expect a day or so. I can get my team to install it so we know it's been put in properly.
Do it under one of your names, and then we zip out of there. They'll not have time to notice anything.
Do we think we can accomplish something useful in that time? Is there the tester angle?
We could go to Eyes Shut. I mean, Eyes Wide, the inferior agency.
Yeah. All right.
Like it.
Sounds like a plan.
So, anyone want to go see what Ingenium are up to? I probably shouldn't go, so you will
Right.
actually have to do that.
Right. Hello, I am interested in purchasing an engine from you. Is that?
I'm gonna
Is
transfer.
this a dry run
you-
or is this?
Yeah, I
Are we
think she's
there?
practicing.
Okay.
I'm gonna transfer you 50,000 credits, and you buy the engine with that. If you need more, just message me. All right. Keep the change, and she walks out.
Hey. To Ingenium. Do we know where they live?
Where they live?
Sorry.
We need to go to Boots. Does anyone know where Boots lives?
You
Sorry,
think this is it's like a general sort of like purpose shop that it's just on these massive spaceship engines?
Yeah, it's a
It's
booming
a
business.
big one.
Ingenium.
It's a big boots.
Ingenium's near me. Search.
You search in your little thing, and it comes up with one location in Absalom Station.
Not that near me. Okay.
Well, in Absalom, so
From a spatial point of view, yeah, system-wide.
It's like
It's
saying
not
near
really.
you in London.
It does zoom out a bit before it shows
Okay,
you
okay.
the location, and it's actually right at the top of the spike, where sort of the arms, the spike, and the base of the eye sort of all coerce. It's literally almost dead center, top line of the spike.
Center of everything.
And I will say, you sort of start heading there, and you reach the street that it's on. And this used to be open. Like, it used to be a street that you could walk down and cross from one side of the top level of the spike to the other. But now there is this sheer metal wall blocking the entrance to the street, which obviously has a ceiling because of being inside the space station. Inscribed on the door are 3 overlapping circles with 2 vertical lines passing through them. I'll draw it for you. Hang on.
Draw it for us, yeah.
Let me draw it for you quickly. Can you see this?
Oh, I
lovely.
It's
Okay.
a tattoo.
Oh my god, it is, you know.
I don't have the lines to it. And then the word Ingenium is written underneath. To the side of this metal wall, there is what looks like a storefront, all glass, with the same logo on it in sort of white print. And as you approach, you see a portion of this large metal wall opens up. And this is, when I say metal wall, this is maybe 50 feet high and sort of 50 feet across. Like, this is huge, like this was a big street. And a portion of the wall opens up, and a large sort of hover truck thing exits with the Ingenium logo on it and sort of starts making its way through the station. And then the wall closes behind it. What I will say is, while we're here, and I've shown you the picture, and you all went, it's Bates's tattoo. Everyone can make me what skills don't need to be trained. Oh, that one does. Down. Sorry. Everyone just, actually, I tell you what, just make me a general wisdom or intelligence check.
General wisdom.
If anyone's trained in culture, you can make a culture check.
Oh, yes.
But only if you're trained in it. If you have a skill in it.
23.
23. Anyone else?
6.
6. Sally?
Also, is anyone else imagining the shop front to be one of those really gross, like glitzy Maserati, Ferrari sort of like showrooms that with all the lighting, and then there's just like a fat engine on a kind of twirling plinth?
Yeah.
There's
And
no
some-
engine. You can't actually see any sort of hardware in it.
Mine was
But,
an 18, sorry.
You've got the right idea.
I was
An 18, right. Okay, so I will say, Thali, the thing you recognise, the 2 lines, that got incorporated into the Abundance logo.
Parallel, I get it.
And Corey, what you pick up on are the 3 interlocking circles. This is the symbol of Triune. So Triune is, and with the 23, I think you said, Triune is the god who was once 3 separate deities who came together and handed out the signal, which, this is all the this, which came, they're what ended the gap, basically. So everything before Triune is basically forgotten, and then they brought about the drift. They are the god that sort of provided access to the drift. They provided the plans to make drift engines in order to take people in to the drift and allow them to travel it. So Triune is always linked with the drift, so in your mind it makes sense that someone might use their symbol as part of a logo for a drift.
Or was
Drift engine company.
Was the drift a virus created by Triune? An artificial
we know
virus. It
anything-
leaked from Triune's lab, and it's consuming all the other planes of existence. Now it's going wrong. Or I could be wrong on that one. It might have something to do with parallel.
I just feel like Triune is. There's something we're not getting about Triune. Yeah, like the drift, this symbol. I just feel like there's something we're not seeing.
Wow. Ooh.
Great insight. Thank you. Don't work.
But Snick's brain is like one of those, those slot machines where you have the 3 separate things that spin. It's like that, but with different conspiracy elements. And eventually it will like clunk into space.
Like, Galerion's missing because the drift is made of...
It's made of elves.
Sometimes I feel like when clues come in to my brain, like those machines in arcades where you put a 2-penny piece in, it goes tick, 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 and then there's like a whole sort of wall of them. And you think this will be the one that dislodges the whole, and it just sits on it, right? And now, and I feel like it's
that's a nice match.
Still got 4 episodes. Don't let it fall over too soon.
All right. Is there can we press the button and be like, hello, we're here to buy?
There is a door on the storefront.
Excellent.
You can walk in. So as you walk in, inside the shop, everything is bright white. The tables and chairs are like a see-through Pyrex-like material. Ugh. Like it's all very clean. And there are a number of people sit seemingly typing on invisible keyboards, looking at screens that you can't see. It just looks like they're sort of miming being on a computer. And as you enter, a Yosoki with incredibly smooth sort of beige fur, bright blue eyes, and wearing like a white shirt with these sort of fitted trousers, walks up to you. And fitted trousers. And
they got curves for days.
Curves for days. And they walk over to you and say, "Hello, welcome to Ingenium, the only place on Absalom to acquire reliable drift engines. How may I be of assistance today?"
Hello.
Hello.
We would like to purchase a reliable drift engine.
Fantastic. Please join me over here. And they walk over and they sit down.
I just look to Corey for approval of my.
I nod. I'm looking at Snicks to see what's going on.
Disgusting. You see how they're dressed. It's
Excuse
not
me?
right. What advantages would this engine have over, say, a small moon that I could also purchase with my very large bank account?
Oh, well, it would allow you to travel in the drift. A small moon, I would assume, would just be useful for sitting on being lonely.
Or exploring for resources. I see how it is. You are... No, it's fine. It's gonna scroll. You've never seen Snick cross his legs before.
No, that's fine. You see, they kind of bristle a little bit as well while you're there.
Oh, there's sparks.
Cannot.
Excellent. Well,
before we continue, I just need to run a quick credit check to check you do have the funds needed to purchase such an engine before we continue. Do you have a card?
I just slap the card that.
She transferred to you, so and Lara put it into your bank account.
I just feel that our credit check, regardless of who runs it and when or how much is in there, is not going to come out well. So I'll just bang the card until we'll be like, we've got it in cash and we've got it now. If you feel like you need to run the credit checks.
There's no such thing as cash in this society, but I will check the card.
Again, not a tree.
Just check.
And slides the card. Again, you can't see, just sort of seemingly invisible, and sort of turns to a screen that, again, nothing there. And goes, "Okay, excellent. We can continue."
See, it's like I told you, Corey. All this finance stuff, it's just made up. They're making up these numbers in their head. Not real. There's no screen there.
Oh, there is. It's just got a...
Oh, am I not good enough to look at your screen?
No.
He really has an excellent business brain. This is not him.
Some Yosoki get upset when they see other Yosoki in positions of power. We've been downtrodden for a long time, and they can't quite handle it. I understand. Don't worry. Your time will come, I'm sure. You're clearly friends with people with lots of money, so maybe they can get you a job.
The snake's hand is absolutely reaching inside.
Okay, with one hand, I'm trying to stop Snick from doing whatever he's doing. With the other hand, so could you give us a sense of some of the schematic, maybe not the schematics, but just give a sense of some of the functionality of these engines? We want top dollar. We're here to pay.
Yes, absolutely. Well, of course, after the drift crash, obviously drift engines no longer functioned as they used to. They were no longer able to enter into the drift, and those that were in the drift got expelled rather quickly. Kim, Tester, obviously came back with new plans for new engines, and Parallel were able to pass this on to Ingenium, and we have worked up new drift engines which can enter into the drift and traverse along the newly created drift lanes, which obviously provide much faster access through the drift. So, for example, in the past, it would have taken you around 3 days to travel to Castrovel. We can now make that same journey in about half an hour.
And who owns these drift lanes?
They are the work of Parallel.
I see.
The drift engines also allow you to travel the drift as you previously were able to without the use of drift lanes, should that be your desire to see, everything the drift has to offer. I believe some people are interested in that.
We want the fastest.
The fastest. Okay, so you would like drift lane access attached to... It is a subscription model, so you will have to pay an extra 2,000 credits every month to secure access to that. Or we can give you a one-off time fee for 3,000 credits to get access for 1 month without the subscription.
I think we'll just take the subscription.
Subscription, 2,000 per month. Wonderful. And when it comes to the engine, would you like medium, large, or... Oh, no, sorry, you can't quite afford the extra large, so I assume your ship is not
I think we can afford the extra large. We wanted excessive.
Oh, it's slightly more than you have available?
Just one moment.
Not
go ahead.
Bigger isn't always better. Sorry, go
It's
ahead.
worse and worse.
I was just going to ask if you can provide the tech specs for the ship engine compatibility.
Yes, absolutely, of course. And
fit.
type out, and a little printout sort of appears from nowhere, and they hand over this piece of paper, and it's got the small, medium, large, extra large drift engines, and it's sort of saying what size ships each of them fit in, different makes and models that they don't correlate to. It's like an Amazon page saying what different all the different specs. All of them have a look at it? Yeah. All of them have access to the drift. All of them it's mainly size of ship and number of people the ship carries when it comes to the sizing.
Oh, this one's got a cup holder.
The engine itself, we want to have let's find the biggest, fastest engine for the ship size that we have.
You don't know the ship size that you have. And
No,
Laura's just said she has a lot. Oh, you've got the smaller. So the ship you were on, you could have the smallest. You could have the smallest engine.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But we just want it to be fast. That's the crucial thing. As fast as possible. Okay. Well, whichever one that is.
So you'll take the small one that fits into the ship that you travelled. This is Emily saying. You want to go for this? Yeah. Cool.
Just as long as it's basically, I just want to make sure that we can outrun people if we have to, if there's any way of doing that.
So the smaller one does sort of, obviously it's an engine, so the ship itself is more down to what will actually allow the sort of maneuverability, but you do see that the smaller one is lighter, and with your piloting knowledge, you sort of think, well, that will mean you're a bit nippier than maybe some of the other ships.
Perfect.
See, it's not that we couldn't afford the larger engine, but I think considering the model of spacecraft that we're going to be running it in, it's probably more likely that the small one is the best choice, wouldn't you say, Corey?
Absolutely. Snicked here is very knowledgeable about such things.
Very successful in industrial relations management, I'll have you know.
Oh, really? Make a bluff check.
I mean, that's just what we call, corporate espionage. Hang on, bluff. Where am I looking? I am looking there, and I'm looking at a. Oh god, hang on, let me roll that. I can't interpret numbers. Right, that is a 15.
Okay, very good. Oh, interesting. You different to what you look like. And they sort of bristle slightly.
I'm very interested in this engine, of course, but I'm so sorry. I have to know. How does your invisible computer work? Because I have never seen anything like this.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't actually know. I can see it all.
Really?
So, yes.
If I come around here, can I see it? Or is it just
you go around and they sort of look at you as you go around. No, and you can't see anything. It's I have
so clever.
I have a watch that I wear that allows me to see my screen and my equipment.
Do you have any? Oh, it's the watch. You don't have any implants or anything. It's just.
Oh no, it's just attached here.
Tracking device.
That is so. I don't
think it is a tracking device. Well, I mean, I guess it is a tracking device because it does track where I go around the store, so I can see different things. Oh, am I being tracked?
Parallel, if you wish.
You see, they sort of stop for a minute. And
keep an eye on you wherever you go. And then Snick starts munching on the croissant that he Screeched 2 episodes ago.
That was like a year ago, but technically it's been with you, so...
Yeah, so it has
It'll
just
be
been
fine.
2 days ago.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
just
yeah.
going to be like, so,
Yes.
being spied on by the deep state, are we?
Is that croissant just crumbling everywhere?
Yeah, it is going
everywhere,
absolutely
all on the table. And actually, a little bit goes on the floor, and you see this like white Roomba suddenly just like comes up and like quickly sweeps up
it's
the
the
crumbs
robot from
before
WALL-E.
going back into the wall. Please try not to spill. They charge us if we have to use the Roomba too many times.
They charge us. Do you have any kind of protection against, parallel? Are you in union?
No, do you think I should be?
Absolutely. The thing is, right, Brett gestures with the croissant. Flakes are going absolutely fucking everywhere. It's so key. We gotta stick together because doesn't matter how high up you think you are, they will drop you like the trash of the galaxy. That's what they think we are.
They did promote someone over me the other day, and I do think I was better qualified for the job.
Dear. Puts feet up on the table.
Oh, please, no, please don't do that. They push your feet off quite quick.
Well,
Right, okay, so I will charge up the small engine. Where would you like it delivered and when? Would you like it fitted? That will be an extra fee.
Do we know this information, or should I
I'll
just
say
follow
you'll know.
that?
I'll say Anne Laura's told you roughly where her docks are, because I didn't think about that. So yeah, she has.
Send it to those docks and see that it's fitted as soon as possible.
You want fitted from us? Yes.
Yes, please. And what's the fastest
I
you can
think
do
Miss
that?
Rennell said that. What I meant was, I heard that Sally fails. Sally stops. Sally.x
Sorry?
has
stop working. Get Thally Task Manager open.
Okay, so it's with the fitting that comes to 30,000 credits.
Didn't we have
Yes.
people who could fit it for us? Was that?
If you do have engineers, we are happy to leave the engine with you. You will have to sign a waiver that any issues that come from the fitting you take on those responsibilities yourself.
Who would just pay for the fitting? I think we'll just take the fitting. And
But
just
look how
get
they
as
treat
fast
their
as
own
possible.
employees. Being promoted again, when it's not their turn to be promoted. Being tracked. Do we really think they're not going to track our engine core?
I don't think I've not been told about it. If they do,
But they didn't tell you that you were being tracked.
they didn't. You see, suddenly, she almost looks. They almost look a little bit more like you, Snicked. They sort of bristle, and their like eyebrows lower, and you almost feel like the sense. You suddenly see, like someone who is one of yours, sat behind this desk, like,
I think we should install the engine ourselves.
I can take off the cost. It'll go down to 25,000.
Then we save 5,000. No, not that we couldn't afford that money, obviously.
No, I've seen the card. I know you could.
Okay, as it is. Yes,
Right.
take the money off.
25,000.
We'll
Thank
save
you
it.
very much. Wonderful. Okay, well that will be delivered in the next 2 hours, and have a good day. It was lovely to meet you. And they look straight at you, Snick.
It was a pleasure
you.
meeting you too.
I'm Carell, by the way.
Snicked. Just
Nice to meet you.
extends a hand. Right. Ask for me the next time you meet Diamond.
Oh, do you know Diamond?
Of course I know Diamond! Everyone knows Diamond!
I haven't seen her. She's a good friend of my great aunt's sister's boyfriend's niece.
Oh, right.
Knows Diamond very well, but I've never
Is that
actually got a chance to
Roberta?
meet
Right,
her.
I think I know.
That's Roberta. Yes, yes.
Right, yeah. See, it's for me. It's. Oh, we'll get to it. Anyway, lovely to meet you properly.
Lovely to meet you
I
too.
go in and hug her.
Them.
Oh, sorry, going to hug
they
them.
give you-
Can I
they give
pickpocket
you-
them, please?
Yeah, roll a
Oh,
roll a
Emily,
sleight
you
of
were
hand.
so disappointed. Oh,
Sleight of hand check. Oh, I've rolled very poorly. That is a 10.
They beat you. So.
Oh,
Sorry. Please don't. There's
I'm
nothing.
sorry. My paw got stuck in your pocket there. Anyway,
Yes.
yeah. Talk to Diamond about me the next time you see her.
Oh, I've never seen her. So
Oh well, make an exception. Go down to the Spike. It's worth your time to go down there. See some more
Right.
kind of your soaky snouts.
yes. Okay, maybe. And you see them look around at all the very much not Yosoki people around them in the office and go, power to the Yosoki. And I take it with that you leave. And Okay, you've purchased a drift engine. Very good, everyone. Tried to pickpocket one of your own, Snicked. Horrendous. And I think with that, we will take a short break.
Should we roll for it?
Yes, let's roll for it. I haven't got my
1d6
dice. I need to
plus
get my dice.
3, did we say before? I can't remember what we said.
We change it every single time.
Every
Every time.
Plus at least 4.
Well,
That's at least 4. Okay.
Then we've always
Like we
got
said
5.
before.
Yeah.
Right, that was I rolled a 1, so that's a 5-minute break.
No,
fuck's
that's
sake.
why it's got to be more than 4.
Simon, you can trim this down. We could have as long a break as we want, and you could trim it down.
Pre-recorded.
But I won't. Let me roll again. Hang on. I got a 2, so we can have a 6-minute break.
Yeah, okay, let's take that.
We never stick to it anyway. Right, okay. We'll be back shortly. Don't go anywhere. Or do. We don't control you. We're not parallel.
Or are we?
Or are we?
I am. Fuck's sake, Simon.
Or are we?
Yeah, prick.
The people that watch on YouTube are going to love that.
What? I don't
There was like-
understand. Anyway.
There was like a 6-minute window that I just cut out, and it just repeated.
Oh, you've just done the... Okay, I like that. Well done. Very good. On YouTube, he does like a slice. I cut all the break stuff out in the podcast. Anyway, fun facts. Doesn't matter. Hello, everybody. We're back. Right, let's go back into the story. Okay. Shit. Right,
That's you, face.
I know. Okay. Wait,
You segued yourself.
She ran over her own foot with the Segway.
Oh no, I'm being silly. Oh no, bad time to be silly. Snap
Right,
out.
Emily Bates, stop being
have
silly.
ordered. Right, I've had our plan. Our plan was buy engine, swap engine, go to Traxxas. How long did Ms. Renell say that installing the engine would take?
I will say you are now at the dock with the ship and the
It's done,
engine,
right?
and Lara is
Right.
there, and you actually get to the thing, and she's like, "It arrived," and she is under the hood, fixing it in herself.
herself in her elegant, expensive outfit.
She's always in this like stunning like blue velvet one piece basically.
She's a mechanic, like me,
Lucy
but for
Rogers.
ships.
It
Like,
is amazing that
Who's
like
Lucy Rogers?
What's Lucy
What?
Rogers?
Just
Who's Lucy Rogers and what's amazing? And Simon's eating an
Oh,
ice pop.
she was.
dress?
She's an engineer.
Look it up.
She was the judge on the most recent reboot of Robot Wars. She's just like very well known
engineer.
kind of female roboticist.
Got it.
Oh.
Very cool.
I was saying it's amazing because every time I think of her, I think of Sean Bean's face, and then I just sort of like put whatever else she's doing in that scene like on top of that.
Oh, I like it. Yeah, it's just Seam Beam.
Impeccably dressed in an evening gown.
With her visor as well. Always this visor.
None-
with
she's
the
none the
blue
worse for
light
it.
going across.
Visor. Really? Is it like
Yeah,
a Georgie
she's always
visor?
had that.
It's like
a Geordie visor.
Cyclops visor.
Yeah.
Like a Cyclops
Like a
visor.
Cyclops visor.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, she's got a little blue light going boop, 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 where her eyes
And you're always waiting for it to hit the corner. Everyone when they're talking to her is just looking at it.
Whoa.
Oh!
Why do people keep cheering every so often? It's very weird.
Yeah, she's just having a group conversation,
Does it
and
know
everyone's
we're
like, "Yeah!" High fives all around.
It is the best thing when that DVD icon hits the corner. Anyway,
We should do that. I could put one on top of our stream if we wanted. Just have a DVD bouncing around.
what, the whole time?
Yeah, the whole time.
To be fair, that's one way to get people to stay watching, isn't it?
That's the viewers.
That's how you do
Watching
it.
us.
I don't give a shit about what's happening in the background. Just
Amazing.
do it.
All right.
No, not right now. No,
Don't do
Simon.
it.
No, Simon.
Don't
No,
do it.
Simon. Don't. We've got
We've
to
got
do
plot. We've got
Hey,
plot.
you go and plot all you want. I'm
didn't
just
mean
going to do
do it right
something
now.
unrelated. That's fine. You go and do.
Okay, Snick's while Snick is on his phone, she sort of pokes her head out and goes, "We should be done in a few hours, really, if you wanted to get going." I must admit, I'm intrigued to see how this works. It looks similar. It's just a few different components and parts, and I've run it through the system, and the code's different. So
Is there anything that
Apparently-
can be used to track us?
honestly, quite possibly.
Is there any way we could install some sort of jammer?
Already one step ahead of you, and you see she's sort of attached. You can see there's been some other bits bolted on to this engine, Corey. When you sort of poke your head in.
Very nice.
Doing
I like to do my own work normally.
so fucking cool.
I like your work.
Love her so much. Apparently it's really fast, so I don't think we're even going to need like provisions for the trip or nothing like that.
What is this drift lane thing I've been
Apparently
hearing about?
they can get to
Castravel.
Castravel.
I don't know why
Korea.
I know what you're trying to say, but I believe it's Castravel.
Apparently they can get to
They
Castravel
keep using it in like half an hour.
in
Yeah,
half an hour.
half an hour.
Half an hour.
The competing
Yeah.
accents.
Ah.
Yeah, I don't know what that means for Triaxis. You know, it's normally 6 to 8 days.
I think it means less than a day. I think it means like hours. I think we'll be there in like. I
Okay,
think we're gonna be
I
there real
wouldn't-
soon.
I
We could be
wouldn't-
there for lunch, you know.
The drift doesn't quite work with.
No,
you
they
know,
got a whole new
spatial
thing. They got
distance.
drift lanes. It's a whole new thing.
I know. I just.
I really got the hard sell from that Yosoki,
Yeah.
didn't you?
I just-
Like,
Drank the Kool-Aid.
I'm not sure how I feel about the lanes, but we can.
Well, we'll
Try them
try,
if
and
you
then
like.
you'll see, and then you'll be like, "Damn, drift lanes."
Corey, you
I assume
comfortable
you're
in
handing
this
us-
new
handing her a pamphlet.
This is- drift lanes? Why they're the best?
Yep.
Corey, you comfortable flying in drift lanes rather than the drift itself?
I have yet to find something I'm not comfortable flying in.
Oh.
Oh.
What about that time he wore those really tight pants?
Oh,
He said that they really rode up.
Right. Okay. Why don't you
I
lot,
did not
you
say
know,
that.
have a quick conversation? I'll get this finished up and we can get going.
I'm just gonna take
Entertain
Snick
yourselves.
I'm just gonna take Snicked aside, I think, for a second.
No,
I'm
gonna
sorry.
stand
You,
up
I,
with
th-
you.
I thought that you were
Thali,
okay
you're a
with me
mechanic,
talking
right?
about that.
Thali, you're a
We're gonna
mechanic. Come
look at
here. I'll
mechanics,
show you
yeah.
what I'm
Okay,
doing.
okay, we're gonna
She'll
look
start
at
showing Thali
Yeah.
how she's fitting the thing. She gets you to like put your finger on like places while she ties knots. Because apparently, when you're a mechanic, you tie knots. That's
Yep,
what
that's
they
a
do.
thing.
Yeah, she's tying knots and she's
Yeah.
using Thali's finger as the
Yeah.
like, holder.
That's how that works.
Because she can't tie a granny knot without the
Yeah, no, she
finger.
can't. Yeah, you need the needle.
Although it's shoelaces, it's full of shoes. Okay, I'd say
That's how it
yeah,
just
just take-
runs. It's just shoes going.
Yeah. lots of hamsters, always shoes. So I take Snicked aside and I just say, now, I had a strange conversation with Andlara earlier. Do you remember back in the office when we were talking about the clones and
Yeah.
how you could recognize one, the sort of physical symptoms they might have?
Not the blurry face, but stuff just kind of breaks. Yeah, they're not quite right. They don't process stuff.
Yes. And then she took me to one side and she said that an example of that was memory loss.
Right? Okay, so if we meet someone who's got like a big hole in their memory, there might be a clone.
I think that's something that we should look out for.
Okay.
All I'm saying is that we're about to go to Triaxis.
Yeah, which is where Taliana's from.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so if we meet a clone there, if there's someone in the Resistance who's got a big gap in their memory, then they might be a clone rather than who they say they are. And they wouldn't even know.
Yeah.
Because they forget, presumably, that they were a clone. I don't know if you come out of the
think-
pod and they're like, by the way, you're a clone of this person. But if they've got memory problems, they forget.
What would we do if we knew a clone and they met their real self?
Oh, well, one of them's always good and one's always evil, right? Or is it one of them always tells the truth and one only ever tells lies? So if you point to a thing that's red and say, is this thing red? Ah, but their idea of red might not be my idea of red. Oh, I'm getting
see
so
what you're
confused.
saying. You're I see the issue here. You're suggesting that if they were wearing the same clothes, had aged in the same way, that we wouldn't be able to tell which one was our friend and which one was just the other one.
Well, yeah, if the
That's the issue
environment
you
is the
highlighted.
same, it would be yes.
I see. Okay. Well, that is not something I thought of, and you're right to think about that. So yes, but also, if the clone doesn't know it's a clone and it meets itself, what happens?
I mean, if I met a version of me, I would shoot myself. As in, I'd shoot the other version of me. Like, no hesitation.
Okay.
Because they'd be
just
thinking
think
all the
maybe we
thoughts that
should-
I'm thinking. If they'd had all the
Maybe-
same environmental yeah, carry on.
God damn it, Snake! I think Thaliana's a clone. How do you want me to say this?
Oh! If we met someone like Thaliana, who had lots of memory loss, like Thaliana, we need to kill her. So he pulls out a pistol.
Are you actually pulling out a pistol,
Oh, yeah.
I'm just trying to...
Corey?
Okay, I'll pull out my gun and point it at Snake.
Good idea.
Stop. Just stop. Just stop. Just stop. Okay.
Reaches for the grenade. Quizzes.
Yeah.
I don't actually know
I'll
what this thing is. I lifted this from Diamond.
Oh, the unknowable grenade.
Want to find out what it does? But it's gone away. Right.
I made note of that somewhere. Hang on.
Kind of. But, might be something good. What do we do? Like, what? If she is, and we don't know, there's lots of other reasons for people to lose their memory.
Yep.
If she is, does that mean that Parallel knows where she is? Is she, like, Parallel's...
Like a sleeper agent.
Yeah? Or is she the one who isn't the clone, but then why would she have the memory loss? Does
Wait
it
a
hurt
minute.
the people who get cloned?
Wait a minute. Yesterday, when we came back, and Thali emailed her family and said, "Oh, by the way, I'm still alive." They said, "Ha, don't be silly." So that kind of implies that the family had seen Thali recently, like hadn't been missing for a year. So there is another one on Triaxis. We got to kill that one. Right.
Right. So there's... Okay. So there is a Thaliana on Triaxis. There's
We
also a Thaliana here.
We think. Probably is.
Why would they have a Thaliana on Triaxis?
Do you think there's a
Because
Fruby clone?
That's how we can tell. Maybe. I don't know.
We say to Fruby, go to Thaliana, and we shoot the one that it doesn't go to.
Who's your mummy?
This is all getting very complicated. Okay. There's a high likelihood, isn't there? If this Thaliana is our friend, then the other Thaliana, for whatever reason, is not going to be our friend.
Yes. What
Right,
if
I guess
the two Thalianas touch, and then they just annihilate? Is that how
You're
it works?
suggesting they annihilate the entire planet?
Yeah. If you know, that's what happens, right? If a clone meets the thing it was cloned off of.
The anti-clone.
Yeah.
Yes.
The anti-Thaliana. Who's like horrible.
Anti-Valley. That sounds good.
It's like, yes, there's a lot of places this could go. Okay, but we can't tell her. We can't tell her because we could destroy her.
So could the clone. So, okay, what we're saying is we're going to go there. We're going to expect to meet Thaliana 2 or possibly Thaliana like 0.5. And then... Okay, what if we mark one of the Thalianas so we know which one is our Thaliana?
I have realized now that you've walked through the scenario, it's going to be difficult to hide it from her when she sees herself in front of her.
Yeah. Because it could be that Thaliana's a person who just has very bad memory problems. And the clone, like, you know, might not have that. Or might have even worse memory. What if the clone forgets what happens every hour?
Then it would be less of an issue to deal with, for sure. But also... Maybe
So
we
hang on,
should tell.
Why don't we tell both of them something and we wait to see which one of them forgets it first?
This is in the event that they both meet and then we lose which one is which.
Yeah.
Then we tell both of the same information and then yes, okay, good. That's a great plan for when we meet them.
Yeah.
At this point, should we maybe just warn Thaliana that something like this might be on the cards?
Oh, that would fuck my head. If you just came up to me and said, Snick, there's a chance that you're a clone. I mean, I'd start climbing the walls. And she's got a robot with a
At that
fucking huge
point,
gun.
you see like 5 Yosoki walk past, all look remarkably like Snick anyway.
in the background.
Yeah, I don't even notice. Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a dilly of a pickle.
That was
Right. Okay. Alternative idea. What if we both disguise ourselves as Taliana, and then we confuse the clone into when the clone says there's only supposed to be one of you, then we know that that one is the clone.
I think we have to tell her. I think we've got to tell her. And if it all goes wrong, then she might forget it in a couple of days anyway.
Yeah, that is the worst case scenario. She remembers it for less than 24 hours. Every day we're going to have to slap her awake and go, wake up, by the way, you're a clone. Possibly.
50 first dates, but with
God, 50.
50 first clones.
Okay, so
Well,
you think we should tell her?
I think we should. I also think, judging by the way she responded to my hug earlier, it should be you.
Okay, I'll go about this. Right, okay, let me mentally prepare because this is going to be very delicate information, isn't it? I would go bonkers if somebody told me this. Okay. All right, I've got an idea. I'm going to walk over to Thaliana. What is Thali doing at this point?
Sally, what are you doing with the engine at the moment? And Laura's kind of just walking you through various bits of it and getting your help.
I'm getting quite enthused about her expensive toolbox of expensive tools.
Like, oh yeah, that's a big spanner. I call that. That one is a medium spanner. And,
These are great.
Yeah, this one is a laser spanner. So
Snick's
it's just a little.
It's
Is
going
this
to
more
arrive
like-
at that point, be like, oh wow, laser spanner. Put like a arm around Thaliana. Be like, hey, how's it going? You enjoying this?
Oh yeah, Ms. Ronell is not just.
That's
a leader
great.
in
That's
the-
great. By the way, you might be a clone and we might have to shoot you.
What?
Oh,
I'm just going to bust in, like, immediately. Sally, let
You're
me
gonna
try and... That's not on the cards right now. We just think... And Laura, could you tell her what you told me?
yeah, Thali, I was hoping to get a bit more clarification.
Y'all don't trust me?
No, I trust you.
Y'all think I'm secretly working for Parallel?
I don't think that. I think there's a chance. And this doesn't make you a bad person, Thali. I think there's a chance you might be one of the clones.
No, but you said that the clones would be working for Parallel, right? So I would know if I was, obeying their secret plan and all. I'd know if I've been swapped out and sent on an evil mission, and I ain't evil. I ain't the evil one.
We don't know that, Thali, but you're not evil, are you? So
No, I'm not evil.
maybe
I would say that if I was evil, though. So you can't tell. But you said that the clones are like really malleable, and they'll just sort of do whatever they're told and believe anything that anyone tells them.
yeah.
Quick, what colour's my tie?
Green?
She's a clone.
Yeah, I
Why-
think you've
why does
misunderstood
that
what
hurt?
just happened there. But
Tie is green. I don't.
Hang on, let me look at my own character art.
Sally, remember when
It's-
I said
It's definitely red.
You can have more than one tie.
Yeah, you're wearing a green tie right now.
Sally, remember when I said they sometimes had issues, the clones?
Not so much faces, but they don't work right, and their faces look all ugly and backwards.
Not all of them.
You think I'm ugly?
No, I didn't say that. One of the symptoms we often see is sporadic memory loss.
Sporadic memory loss. I had some memory loss a couple of times apparently.
That's all we've got to go on, Sally. So that's it. That's the only reason it's even a possibility. We could be wrong.
So you think it's possible?
I do. You
I mean,
you worked at Abundance. You
delivered there. I mean, if
Been
you think
went
it's
in
something
before.
that we ought to bear in mind, then I trust you, and you know what you're talking about.
But Sally, I'm gonna look after you.
Right.
Corey snicked.
Unless she's the evil one of the two, in which
That
case...
that's not how clones work.
Are you sure? What if I am
Sally.
evil? Oh
Sally.
no. am evil.
I mean, are you interested in perpetuating unjust systems?
I don't know. I've never really been offered the opportunity.
Well, you're participating in one kind of, just by engaging in... Well, no, that's a conversation for another time.
Nick,
Sally, I've seen 2 versions of you already.
What?
I've met you twice.
Really?
Once the first time, and then once again in our apartment when you were just a new person to us.
Oh.
And
I remember
both times, I felt I could trust you.
Oh, really?
Even if you are a clone, you still
trust you
are a
too.
clone. Yeah.
Sally,
I don't think I'm a clone. But if Ms. Rennell says I'm a clone, then I'll be a clone,
I'm not
I guess.
saying you definitely are. I'm just... Sally, I met you on Triaxis. Oh, I met you here and went to Triaxis with you, and you don't have any memory of it, and...
But that's because I forgot some stuff, though, right?
I hope so.
Well, what do I do if Parallel tries to tell me to do evil?
Don't do it.
Oh. But if I was a clone, it's probably pre-programmed.
I don't know if that's how they work. It might not be.
If I was a clone, why would Parallel just make a clone and then not swap out the real person for the clone puppet person who'll do whatever they say? That's what you said they were doing, right?
I did. And I don't know.
Okay, well, I'll just do whatever you say. That'll work, right? Not that I'm the type of person who just believes anyone and does whatever they say, because I'm very independent-minded. Aren't I, Snicked?
Yes. Yeah. You are a free thinker who thinks for themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Can I roll a bluff check?
You can.
I think that was an 18.
Sally, roll a sense motive.
To do that, but it was a 3 on the die, so never mind.
You believe him?
4. Right, exactly. So that's I just think that's a possibility. I'll just...
Are you okay?
I wish things would stop happening to me, because I just got here and I wasn't expecting this, and people keep telling me things about myself, and it's really odd to have other people telling you stuff about yourself.
Truly.
Hang on, here's an idea. Have you got a notepad or anything?
Yeah, sure.
Why don't you write down what we've just told you and how we feel about you in your own handwriting in your notepad, and then tomorrow, if you forget all of it, you'll see all of it again, and you'll know it's from yourself.
All right.
That's a really good idea, Snick.
I'll do that. I'll do that, yeah.
There's also one other thing we could bear in mind. If you are a clone, and Parallel thinks it has some sort of hold over you, there may come a time where you could use that.
Why did you have to tell me this? Why did you gotta tell me all these things that don't help no one, and I just want to go home and see my family, and I just wish you hadn't, that's all. And she's gonna go off into the ship.
We should get going. We're ready to go.
Everybody buckle up.
It's all quite close quarters, Sally, so they follow in quite quickly after you. You feel, Corey, the engine begin to rumble as the ship rises. Now you're in a closed dock. There is no outward, there's no space to fly into. But you've done this before. This is drift travel. You don't need space to enter the drift.
You don't even leave the spaceship. Unreal.
So you feel the ship rise a few feet from the dock. Now drift engines take 1 minute to fully fire up and eject you into the drift. And you remember the tension. Snick, do you remember it quite clearly that you always kind of felt this sort of the ship shaking slightly, and you sort of start to see the world around you kind of wobbles and waves, kind of like you're seeing it through water. And then this sort of high-pitched ringing starts sort of echoing inside the ship. And you almost see the outside sort of start to fade in and out, and you see these orange, purple clouds flickering into view. The noise of Absalom Station begins to fade away, and then there is a loud bang. The ringing stops, and you find yourself floating in the drift. Tendrils of colours just flow past the window as the ship sort of begins to smoothly glide forward. The navigation panel shows a beacon called Triaxis, and Lara looks over at you, Thali, and says, Thali, let's get you home. Right. You paid for this drift lane thing. Do you want to try it or not?
I'm ready.
Does the drift look different?
Make a perception check.
Can I get in on that?
Yeah.
With my now legal and lowered perception stats, because it turns out, viewers, I had added a few too many skill points to this.
We're learning.
Behind the curtain. Come and see more on the
If you'd like-
Patreon.
Yeah, oh,
You
he's
can hear
good.
all
There
of
it
that.
is.
That's very good. Behind the screens is what we call it, but behind the curtain also works.
Yeah,
What is a
fuck it,
screen
fuck
if
it.
not an inflexible curtain? That was a 12.
That's the sort of stuff that we'll be discussing behind the screen. 21.
12. So Snicked, it looks similar, like all the colours are the same. It's still got that kind of ethereal, it's almost like you don't quite know which way you're looking, which sounds weird, but you look one way and you almost feel yourself being drawn a different, everything's a bit, it's just weird. There is a weird sensation in the drift, and it takes quite a steady head and hand to fly to be a drift pilot. That's why you kind of respect Quarry so much.
Best
like
of the best.
if you're not trained in this, it's very easy to get disorientated, almost dizzy, even when you're just traveling straight forward. And you do start to still feel that kind of slight lurch and weirdness in the drift. Thali, you feel sort of similar feelings. Corey, as you look out, it is the same. This is the drift that you remember. Don't know how to explain it. It's just duller. The colours they're not as sharp as maybe they were. And as you sort of start flying, you sort of feel you plug into the coordinates of the drift lanes that sort of appear on your screen, and you feel the ship suddenly, you lose control and it just gets pulled into it just slides sideways, and then suddenly the colours are gone and you are just in what looks like a tunnel.
I
And
don't
it's
like
just
this.
these white walls, and you just start traveling and you have no control.
Oh
on the ship.
no. Oh fuck
This-
me.
Why are you saying it like it's a bad thing?
It's
And
the
Lara goes,
fucking
"I think-
Hyperloop. They invented. Oh god, parallel the Boring Company.
In the game.
And Lara.
Oh. Fuck me. Trains, people. Trains.
Hyperloop. And I hate him. And you feel no, who feels? No one feels anything. What am I saying? And Lara looks and goes, "Oh, I guess this is a drift lane. Interesting." And you feel
Yeah, it's
yourself-
not interesting, is it?
No, that was sarcasm. So, yeah.
Well, is now the time? Look what they've done. What is this? There's no flying here. There's nothing.
Can you move it at all?
Can I?
Make a piloting check for me.
So, 20.
With a 20, you sort of pull, and you feel you do feel like a little bit of control kind of come back as you sort of make contact, and you kind of slightly go side, and you kind of hit the side of this lane, and it doesn't feel like a bang. You just sort of almost feel like a cushioned, and then you just sort of get like pulled back into place, and it carries on down the lane. And
I do not want to come back here.
We're not doing it this way again. And you can tell, Thali, Snicked, both of these two are pissed off about this.
Wow.
Like, this is, and Lara's there, and she's like, one of the few joys of life was traveling the drift. It was beautiful. You'd never see anything like it. And she just goes on a tirade about how amazing it used to be and how shit this is and how they've ruined drift travel.
There's more here. there? Like, how could this even happen? Like, what is this space?
Why
could you
don't they
dull
want
the
people
drift?
to see the drift? What's changed? Why don't they want you in there? They want you to use these lanes. Oh, okay, it might be quicker, but what are you missing?
We're going back in. I don't know when, but we have to see.
100%. And I will say, you see some times appear on the screen in front in the cockpit, and it says time until arrival at Triaxis, 24 hours. So she goes, that, however, that's pretty quick. I might have a nap. I think we're on cruise control, so Snicked, you still look pretty beat up, so I would suggest you do the same.
I feel... Oh, yeah, I feel terrible.
Now, and also, I'll just remind everyone, I haven't got the rules open, but if you do rest for 24 hours, I believe you can gain more hit points back than just the regular 3 that you would get with a long rest. So this is basically me saying, congratulations, have a full reset as you get pulled along. You can also, however, Corey, Thali, I don't think either of you are particularly injured anymore. I think you're all
down, though. No, I'm 16.
Yeah. I mean, the seats recline a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just you
just
get that
enough.
kind of like on a, how on a train sometimes you just like, oh, I could not a train on a plane, but you can't do the thing where you're like fully in the person behind you's face, but like 45 degrees.
Tell you what was actually impressive, right? So I was a peek behind the screen again. I was on a scout camp for the past 2 days, and one of the leaders didn't bother setting up his tent. He just slept in his Tesla. Like, apparently the seats go back far enough that you can basically sleep as a flat bed in the back of one of those cars. I was legitimately impressed.
I mean, cars are cold, though. Cars are really
and they'll
cold.
explode randomly.
It could have caught fire, but while it didn't, he did have air-conditioned private room with like an alarm.
Kind of defeats the
Fuck that
point of
dude.
going
I said this.
camping.
I said
Like,
this.
just...
You're going to be a scout leader. Get in the ground.
know.
Get in a ground. Do what I did. Put your tent up and find that 2 poles have snapped, and then get a little bit wet. I fixed a pole 2 days ago. The day before I left camping, I was like, one of these poles has snapped. I'm going to saw off a new pole, put it in, rethread it. I felt really chuffed with myself. And then 2 more broke on this camp. Anyway.
I feel like you
Maybe
might
you
be
need
putting
to
your
do
tent
10.
up wrong. Yeah.
No. Trust me, it wasn't. We actually found out this was a design flaw. We think they put the wrong poles in the set. Like, this was genuinely not me.
That's weird.
Anyway.
Can I? Yeah.
Go on. Yeah, correct.
Before Thali, I just want to check in. I'll just go back. I'll leave the controls in disgust.
Yeah.
And go back and just walk through. I'm imagining it's a bit later. Maybe if Snicks is already asleep, I don't know. But in the
sure.
when
a couple
you walk,
of hours later, and Lara's sort of fast asleep.
you walk.
Ruby.
And you walk through a jumbo jet, which is doing like an overnight flight, and it's dark on the inside, and there's people sleeping everywhere. But it's and you can tell when someone's awake. Like sometimes it's just because there's like a bright light on their face. And I just stop by Thaliana's chair.
It's all quite close quarters, so yeah.
I know it's really silly.
Yeah.
Take a step to the left.
Sally, I'm sorry. I didn't want that. I wouldn't have told you, but where we're going, there might be another you. You're our Thali.
I don't know you. You seem real nice, but most of the reason I think you're real nice is because you told me a whole bunch of stuff happened in which you were real nice to me. Maybe I shouldn't believe everything,
Of all the people you shouldn't believe, I'm probably pretty high up there. I'm not a good guy.
See, now I'm confused, because if I believe that, then I don't believe... You see, that does not help, Corey. It does not help.
Well, it's uncharted territory for me as well. See, I would have just left someone like you before. But, You're special.
Because I
So-
might be a clone of someone else.
Well, that's part of it. But it's just the way that you are. I don't want to go into what we did. We've told you already, but you just you fill a hole.
You know what?
I'm not good at these speeches. And then I'll just start walking back.
I'll go to say something else and then not. Go to bed and get my hit points back.
I'm gonna go to bed and just think about some stuff.
How to phrase things better.
Yeah. I'm gonna go to bed and look at the instructions for my new gun. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, you look at your instructions for your new gun.
The thing is, okay, right. The different party members, Corey would skim the instructions, be like, yeah, I think I got this.
That makes sense.
Sally
yeah.
would read every single line, take the gun apart, put it back together. Snick just throwing the
But
instructions
better.
away. Like,
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Snick finds out how to use it in the moment.
Yeah. So I'll say you have 24 hours. I will say none of it is strenuous. You don't have any like things happen, so you do get the full. If you need to reset, like I think it's double the hit points that you would gain. I can check that for you. But does that bring you back up to full, Snick?
So remind me how many.
You would get
that's my
3. It would be
operative.
6.
Is that an operative thing? You just get 3.
No, it's everyone. It's just long rest. You get your level 3.
Oh, that's how it works, right?
Yeah.
So I would get 6 back.
Is that right?
Let me double check.
Oh shit, is that wrong?
I thought it was.
no.
I thought it was based on your class.
Now I think you might be. No, that's when you level up. I think healing. Here we go.
Skill points.
With a full night's rest, you recover 1 hit point per character level. Blah, blah, blah. And then there is a thing. Complete bed rest for 24 hours. We're going to say that that's basically what you've done here. Restores 2 points for each. Affected ability score. Oh.
Oh,
Hang on,
what's
I
occurring?
read that wrong. That's not what I thought it was. Okay. Well,
Let me put it like
doesn't
this:
matter.
I have 7 out of my 14 hit points.
I will say you can get 6 back with these
So if
24
I go to
hours
13,
of rest.
and then I reset my stamina points as well. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah, they're all fine. That's because you reset them with resolve points, which refresh when you have a long rest.
So I am on. I'm only down 1 hit. I've got like a bit of a.
Yeah, literally, you've got everything but 1 hit point, which is what do you think it is from that fight with the weird glowsy boys?
So they had they were like claws raking down.
Yeah,
Is
they
that-
clawed you. Their skeleton attacked. Yeah.
So I've probably got on my tail or something. There's like a little hard bit scar tissue. That's just like a little bit of a weakness. So,
Oh, has it got like a little bend in your tail?
yeah,
It's got,
there's
like,
a little.
funny angle.
Snick's got just like a little crooked bit. He's broken one of the bones, and it'll never fully heal.
I
but
mean,
it's-
it might. if
Will you ever play the galactic piano again?
Well, I
Do you
couldn't
need a tail
before.
for that? Yeah. What I will say is, it comes to you see the timer starts ticking down, and is there any other conversations anyone would like to have while this 24 hours takes place before I pull you out of the drift again? Okay. So you watch the countdown. It ticks down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're back in the cloudy, beautiful purple drift. The drift lane is gone, and you start to see the sort of familiar watery look around you as the ship starts to rematerialize into the, I guess, material plane, we'll call it. As the ship exits the drift, you see starting to appear beneath you an ocean and various continents. You're basically within Traxxas's atmosphere as you emerge. Thali, you've only seen Traxxas from the air once when you left, and the rest of you. This is basically a water world with pockets of land. There are 2 major continents and a series of larger islands. Clouds are swirling around the surface, and sort of still you're a bit higher than the clouds still. So, and you can see most of the land below that you can see through the clouds is covered in this like dusting of snow.
How high are we?
I don't know. You tell me. Climate boy.
We could spitball this if we want, but I was just taking the piss.
I don't know. I couldn't even vaguely guess. What do planes fly at? They fly at like 35,000 feet. You're at 50,000 feet. How does that sound to you? Is that crazy? So it's not Earth planet, so it's correct.
colder.
I'm right, because I've said it.
Yeah, it's colder than Earth. Is that right, on average?
Yeah,
Okay, but it's a water planet.
sure.
So that will imply that the atmosphere is a lot thicker. So sorry, no, a lot thinner because in order to be at that temperature, water is a very effective greenhouse gas.
So
water planet
50,000 is fine?
50,000, you'd be quite high in the atmosphere. You'd be in like the.
Well, that makes sense, because they're...
Oh, you just entered from space.
Yeah.
So that checks
They don't
out.
want you to arrive. Okay. See, I know what I'm talking about. I've read your book. Available in all good bookstores. Right. And Lara plugs in some coordinates and she sort of like then gestures to you, Corey, and says, "You can take it away now."
And I will.
As you start maneuvering towards the coordinates, a little hologram appears on the dashboard. It's a Raphorian with like pale yellow fur that says, "Welcome to Triaxis and Lara Rennell and others. Please confirm how many sentient beings are aboard your vessel. Scanning.
Do I count?
Scanning. 6 sentient beings detect. No, sorry, no, I've got that wrong. Emily's got that wrong. 5 sentient beings detected. Thank you. Please enjoy Triaxis.
Do I count as 2?
Fruby.
Does Ruby count? Okay.
Is Fruby sentient?
I mean,
Oh my god, I've been so rude this entire time.
Does he have a rich inner life?
Fruby.
Ruby, how do you
I'll
feel?
give him more means of communication.
Ruby.
Ruby, do you want like a language model?
Fruby.
Oh man,
You
I'm
want
a
freedom,
bad
Ruby?
roboticist.
Ruby, what happened?
Fruby.
I created sentient life. I didn't know. Oh, I am bad.
Ruby, what do you think happens after we die?
Ruby.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Ruby, do you know love?
Ruby.
Hey.
Oh.
Hey. Who's
And
Good
it
for
kind of
Ruby.
like, it just models a bit closer to Sally.
Oh, okay. Spicy.
So you sail through the sky as you get lower and you pass over mountain ranges. You see below you cities larger than Absalom, and you're guided towards Grenlock, the island where Thally's farm and Abundance, previously known as Grenlock Lacuna Beach, was found. Here the snow appears to lessen slightly, and you look out and the pine trees below, they appear a little bit more saturated. They're a little bit greener than you would maybe expect pine trees to be, a bit more almost bluer. The sea is this vibrant turquoise around the land. And Thally, as the ship approaches Creswell Organic Farms, what did Creswell look like when you left?
Don't say it like that, Jesus. Like fucking like huge area. Divided into sort of fields and sections, a lot of it covered, but not all of it. Various bits of tech around, but from a height you wouldn't see. I feel like from a distance it would look relatively like modern farming, and then like just a few buildings in the middle. Like we don't like do a ton of the like processing stuff. It's like big sheds for storage and houses and stuff.
And that's exactly what you see.
Emily Bates. So mean to me.
Then Corey, you feel a resistance and a shudder of the ship as you seemingly pass through some sort of invisible barrier, and the illusion around the farm drops. Thally, you look down and you see where once there were fields of crops covered by netting and things to keep the bugs off, there are now hundreds of fruit bots lined up in rows.
Jesus Christ.
And you look where there once were a few buildings, there's a much bigger building, and it's this ginormous shed, and you can't see into it. And Lara sort of gestures to a field round the back. There's still farming stuff. There's still fields where you can see, you know, the turnips and whatever other root vegetables or whatever it was that you were growing. They're all still there. There's just now some fields filled with a lot more defense, it would look like. There's you also notice there's the fence is taller around the edge of the farm. There's sort of more barbed wire on the top of it. It looks like they've been hunkering down, shall we say. And
God.
Corey, you managed to bring the ship, round the back. Make me a piloting check to see how well you land it.
We were so worried about the attack of the clones, we didn't think about the droids.
29.
So, how would you like to land this plane, Corey?
I want to
You
land
go ahead.
straight down. I want to be like, I'm coming in under the radar and just drive straight, drop. I'm going to cut all the engines. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, I'm going to come in, bank hard, cut the engines, and just whoop, like a falling leaf.
Oh, stunning. And
Like a leaf on the wind.
A leaf,
Yes.
it just sort of
Then I'm
flows.
just-
You all feel a little bit sick as it kind of wafts backwards and forwards and then perfectly touches down. at
I do
crest
bring the engines back up before we hit the deck. It's not like just
Bam!
stack it.
That's what Soyuz do, don't they? That's how they land. Soyuz
What's a
spacecraft.
Soyuz?
It's the
Oh,
it's
like
the Russian
Soyuz,
re-entry.
sorry.
Soyuz.
Soyuz.
Sawyer?
Soyuz.
So it just goes in
Soyuz,
Soyuz.
innit?
They have parachutes, but then they
Yeah.
fire retro rockets at 3 meters above the ground, I think.
Do they?
Yeah, so they go down
Nails.
faster,
I
and then
thought
they
they
go
just twanked the floor.
twanked the floor.
Swanged them.
I'm pretty
I
sure.
went to say whacked and banged into the floor, and I just said wanged. I thought the parachute slowed them down, and they just went boof boof. into the floor.
Hang on, yes, it fires retro rockets.
Ah,
So just
I
above the
didn't know
ground,
that.
they go, and then burn
To
off
make
a
it
load
a little
of momentum.
bit less. Yeah.
That's metal.
There's an interesting difference
Metal.
here, just as a tiny aside, in
No, chat of opportunity.
how Americans and Russians re-enter the atmosphere, because in the space race, the Americans had a far more dominant navy, whereas the Russians
they
had
go in the
lots
water.
had lots of land. So they designed their craft to land in the ocean and in the land, respectively. But it did mean that one of the American crafts sank, which was the Liberty Bell, I think it was. It was one of the Gemini craft. No one died, but it was like, oh shit, we've got to think about this. Whereas the Russians actually, I'm pretty sure I'm correct in saying, have to now put a firearm in the Soyuz in case they can't get to the capsule if it lands somewhere particularly remote and they need to defend themselves against things like wolves. I'd let me get a citation on that, but I believe
space
I've
shuttle
That is
was
top
great because it was just
Space
a plane.
shuttle knowledge.
Russian.
I liked the plane one that just landed like a plane.
The space shuttle.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah,
We
that's
like
what
the
I said.
space
Yeah.
shuttle.
Yes.
So what do we see?
They carried a gun called the TP-82, a triple-barreled Soviet gun carried by cosmonauts.
Polar bears around there, don't they?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Anyway, so sorry, and we're back in the room. So the ship opens, and you step out. Thali, when do you step out? Just so I know.
Oh, I'm going last.
Yeah.
I'm just very I just feel like a puppet to everyone, and I guess I'll just do what I'm told and be what I'm told and find out if I'm a clone, and then find out what people want to do about that, and just.
As you're sort of on the ship waiting, and Lara exits, Corey Snick to go out, and you hear a little voice go, "And Lara!" And you hear the voice of Laurie, and Laurie is he, isn't it? Aren't they?
Yeah.
I think that's right. And Corey Snick, you see this tiny little Raforian, looks maybe about 5, with this like pale blue hair and like a little white snout, and wearing like these little cute pink dungarees, just charges up to Aunt Lara and like leaps into her arms for a big cuddle. She goes, "Well, hey," and gives like a big hug. Sally, are you coming out?
Yeah.
And Laura sort of puts Laurie down, and Laurie kind of peeks around and goes, "Sally? Sally, is that you?" He is older. He's about a foot taller than he was. He's running. He used to sort of waddle and fall a lot. "Hey, Laurie, I missed you!" And like runs and like grabs your leg, like so tight, like an absolute vice grip on your leg.
Gonna bend down and try and remove the vice enough that I can hug him properly.
Okay.
I want the hugs, and I'm just gonna like bury my face in his shoulder and not look anywhere else. Because Lori still loves me. Whatever happens, Lori still loves me.
They said that you might not see you for a while, and now you're here. Hi, and just won't let go.
Hey, darling. I love you.
I love you.
Who all's here?
Oh, everyone's here. Do you wanna come see? Do they know you're coming?
No, I don't think so. I
Okay,
don't
great.
know.
Come on, and runs into the house where you used to live. It's this sort of brick building, couple of floors, but quite big. You know, there was a few of them. And Lara goes, well, he wasn't expecting you, so maybe you're not a clone after all.
Right. Maybe that's what I was thinking, because I just left for a while, and then I don't want to go in there.
What, do you want
don't
me to
have
go
to.
first? Do you really think that's going to go better?
Sally, do you want me to go?
I just
For all they know, I've been gone for a year, so or more.
Oh.
I'm returning too.
No, you know what? My life might be about to fall apart, so I'll just pretend it's normal as long as I can.
Okay, let's do this. You head to the front door, and it's already open from where Laurie ran through. And you step through, and it leads into the kitchen in the front door. There's this big farmhouse kitchen, and you know there's gingham curtains on the walls. It's all very quaint. Lots of sort of pots and pans all around the side. You see at the sink is your mother, Joanna. She's wearing like a little apron. She's got little glasses perched on the end of her nose. She's got like quite dark blue, like Thally's hair color, hair, but it's got sort of streaks of grey throughout it, curly, much more curly than Thally's fur. You walk through and you see Jebin in the kitchen, who is Thally's oldest brother, and he's a very tall, quite built Raphorian. He's still quite dark in colouring, but there's barely any sort of skin or white fur on him at all. He's pretty much all blue, all this dark blue. And he is currently just polishing some glassware next to the kitchen, next to his mum. And you see Laurie is like tugging on Joanna's thing, being like, Thally's here, and Lara came back too, and Thally's here. And Joanna goes, all right, sweetheart, whatever you say. And as you walk through, she just stops. Thalliana?
Hey, Mom.
Oh my god. And she runs and just like holds you. Jebin almost drops the glass that he's holding. Hey, Thally.
Hey.
Thought we lost you.
Did you?
What are you doing here?
Can we talk about that later?
Yeah, and runs and like envelops both of you, and then just goes, "Hey, everyone, get down here right now!" And you hear like feet from all over the house, and you see Megan, your elder sister, comes in. She is pretty much all white as a Raphorian. She's followed by Aska, who is Megan's partner, who is this sort of almost actually like the hologram you saw, a little bit more yellow in coloration. And Tully comes in wearing this is Thally's younger sister, who looks almost identical to Thally, just slightly slimmer build and just sort of a little bit shorter. And then there's a lot of names here.
I need to make my section
Where's
bigger.
the rest
Hang
of my
on.
family?
There is a family tree on the Patreon.
I got a tree.
Sully comes in, who is Megan and Aska's eldest.
She's gonna be old now as well.
Sully comes in, and she's She's sort of patchwork, always has been. So like one ear is white, one ear is blue,
Aw.
and she's very cute. You can tell she's kind of pre-teeny now, and she comes in, and sort of almost shuffles in a little bit. And I couldn't read your notes. Is it Kino or Kane? Kino. Kino comes in, and he is this sort of stock little cute little roly-poly Riforian in this sort of pale blue. And he's very cute. And then finally you see your father Jethro comes in, and he's using a cane which he'd never used before, and you see he's got a bit of a limp as he walked in, and he is sort of rather large, blue like Riforian, and he's sort of wearing these dungarees.
What was the name you said before Jethro? Sorry.
Kino.
Kino. Thank you.
Kino. Kino. And you see they all just come, and like basically there's this big cuddle puddle of Riforians all around Thali. And then it breaks, and Jethro, your dad, turns to you. Thaliana, what happened? How come you're back?
I don't actually know, but a lot of strange things have been happening, and I'm freaking out a bit, but I want you to know that I love all you so much.
As you're speaking, you hear Kino go, "Is that Fruby?" And everyone turns.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Yeah.
Jebin turns to you and goes, "You found him? Where did you
I?
find him?" Oh my god. And like they all just suddenly crowd round Fruby and start like examining this robot.
Oh shit.
Thali, what's going on? Is Megan. I know which one I am each time, but we're just going to assume it's one of them talking.
You know which one you are.
I know,
We don't know.
but yeah.
We don't know. Ms. Rennell knows everything.
They have him in abundance.
Been well at all.
You're not well.
I'm not.
I told you we shouldn't have sent her in there. And you do. Oh, sorry. I will say at this point, you do notice everyone's got little berets on, or there are just various berets around the room. And I totally forgot to mention that they're all wearing these little blue berets.
Fucking berets.
Berets.
Blue berets.
I told you we shouldn't have sent her there.
Oh, you shouldn't have coloured them that.
Blueberries.
They're blueberries.
Damn it.
I'm gonna go over to Corey, and I'm gonna say, "You're a proper detective. Maybe you could just find out what this side of the situation is before we have to explain what our side of the situation is, which I am not looking forward to."
At this point, Laurie like comes over and
Hey,
pulls you.
darling.
Hey, I made you a present. Would you like to see it?
Yeah, I would.
Come with me. And like grabs your hand and starts leading you outside. And we'll stay
So I'm
in the room.
Wow, come
so
off.
sorry. I'm so sorry to interrupt. I really do apologize. Very rude of us, I know. But we have come from Absalom, and we are really not up to speed with everything that's going on. And I just want to make sure that we know exactly where we're at, so that, you know, we don't do anything wrong or put anyone in danger. I understand the situation is a bit tense, perhaps. Please, if you could fill us in, that would be amazing. Thank you.
Oh, yes, of course. Where are our manners? Tully, would you put the kettle on? We need to make our guests feel at home. Everyone take a seat, take a seat, take a seat. And Joanna starts like preparing teas and she goes, "Megan, get the biscuits." And Megan pulls out this tray of cookies and starts like handing them out to people. So obviously it's lovely to have Thali back. You say you're from Absalom?
That's right, yes. Absalom's finest detective agency.
Oh, how
in
did you
fact.
find Thali then?
We are the finest detective agency in Absalom.
Right, but if you're on Absalom, how did you find Thali?
Because we're the finest detective agency in Absalom.
Right, but she wasn't on Absalom. She was here, so I don't. Are you investigating the case? Have Eyeswide taken the case back?
In a manner of speaking, tell us before we go on. Obviously, a lot of privileged information, confidential, very
Right, of
difficult to
course.
share, know where to share, what not to share. So maybe
Sure, but
you
you're a
could
friend
tell
of
us.
Thali, right? So we can trust you.
Of course, absolutely. Maybe you could fill us in on what's been going on here, Ground Zero, if you like, and then we can fill in the blanks.
Right. Well, so obviously, you know, we've got the infiltration planned, and Thali was doing reconnaissance recently, and well, she hadn't come back, but we figured that was just all part of the plan, really, and we were just waiting to hear from her. So,
How recently would you say?
I mean, she went what, a month ago?
That matches, doesn't it? Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, she told us to come back.
But, right, she didn't go to Absalom. She went to Abundance. So.
Oh no, we travel for our work. We're very much in demand across the system. You see.
She told us never to contact her. She would come find us once she left. So.
Us.
I'm confused.
Yes.
Where you've come from, Absalom?
Well, you know, Absalom is our home.
Originally,
home
we came
base.
from Absalom. Yes.
Right.
But, you know, we actually do a lot of cross-system work. So, you know, for us, Triaxis is, you know, one of a number of different kind of base locations.
We're very discreet, you see, as an agency. So you've heard of the Eyes Wide agency, yes?
It's because they're not.
We have, yes.
Yeah, they're not great at what they do. Very,
I believe
very
that
well
they
known.
left this case, and it was a damn shame.
We are the Eyes Shut agency, and have you heard of us?
No, not a dot.
Exactly.
Okay. I'm willing to go along with that for now.
I'm nodding quite forcefully in the background.
Right. Okay. Well, look, we were actually in the process of planning a break-in on Abundance. They've recently had a new intake, and we figured might be time to get them before they actually start the. What is wrong with your necks?
Sorry.
Just agreeing with you. Sorry.
Drift travel will do that to you.
All right. Sorry, you were saying.
Just rest my chin on the table.
They've had a new intake to the resort recently, and well, seeing as we weren't able to stop the last batch, we were kind of hoping we could get in and disrupt the process. I assume you know about the process.
The question is, how much do you know?
This is Jethro, just so everyone's clear. We know quite a lot about it. I mean, not a great deal. I mean, we know they're cloning people, and we know it takes, you know, maybe a few days before they begin the process. They've just had a new intake, so we figured they spend a few days getting to know them, right? To getting to know what they do, all their weaknesses, all of their power, how they use, how best to use those people in the real world if they were to replace them, and then they begin the process of creating the clones. And we think they're probably a few days away from starting that process with the latest intake.
I think we might be one intake behind Corey. I mean, do you have any information on who is in this intake? We had tabs on the previous batch.
All we know is that a variety of people from amongst the Pack Worlds, all with, interestingly, actually, and at this point, Tully pipes up and goes, this is what I was looking into, all with interesting relationships to the Drift were invited to Abundance recently. They all have, like, and then there's a few, like, older people as well, because they always ask the older people, and I think, my theory is that they ask the older people because they don't care if it goes wrong on them, and they try them out first. Anyway, but after that, like, Kim Tester thing, you know, the one that Thali saw, sorry, and she's like gonna be a big deal or something. I don't really know. We don't really get the proper news out here, but I think it's all real weird. Anyway, we're the Resistance, and we're gonna stop. Yeah, the one that, like, disappeared in front of Thali. The reason she went to Eyes Wide in the first place is, I'm assuming that's what you're here to look into, right?
Oh, we've moved on from that case, but that was the inciting incident, yes.
Oh, right. Well, we don't really know still what happened to her. I mean, there's a clone of her, but we don't know where she is.
And I don't suppose, I mean, with the most, with the kiddest of gloves, you know, we always like to understand our clients as best we can. I don't suppose that you've noticed anything odd about Thaliana recently?
Recently? I mean, she's just, you know, she changed.
Like,
right?
did her color
last
vision
couple of-
change specifically?
No, just like the last couple of years. She's not really been the same since she came back from going to Absalom. And look, we love her no matter what, but she really wants to take down Abundance, so we're just here to help her, really. She's kind of the leader of all of this. Since she's been gone, it's been a bit higgledy-piggledy. Dad thinks he knows what's going on, but I don't really think he does. And Mom, she just worries about everyone too much. And at this point, Shepard goes, "All right, Tully, you can keep quiet now. Look, we all we look out for each other here, and Tally looks after everyone more than anyone should. She'd do anything for us. Just want to keep her safe."
So do we.
I like that.
Given our dealings with Thaliana, she is a very capable asset to our investigation. Pleasure to work with.
Right. And with that, we'll cut to Thali, and Laurie is leading you into one of the little sheds that you sort of recognize. It's actually the shed you built Fruby in. And he pulls you in, and he goes, "Okay, I wasn't meant to tell. I wasn't telling anyone. I've hidden it. Look." And he like moves this hay bale out the way, and behind there is a little there's like a plank of wood which he has seemingly like hammered in various other sticks. And he goes, "No, wait, it fell over. Hang on." And he like stands it up, and he's clearly tried to make a little wooden Fruby. And he goes, I made you a new Fruby because you lost him, and I thought you were real sad, and I thought this might make you smile again." Oh, you're muted, honey.
This is such a great Fruby.
Thank you. You got the real one back though, so you probably
did.
don't want this one at all.
I do want this one.
You do?
Yeah, I do.
What should we call it? Because we can't call it Fruby because the other one's Fruby. So this one has to be something else.
What do we call those ones that are out in the fields?
The fruit bots. They're not
Yeah.
as special as Fruby.
They're not special.
We could
I
call it
didn't
Boofy.
accidentally- Boofy?
Boofree.
Boofree. Boo.
Like Fruby, but Boofree.
Boofree. I like it. Boofree.
Do you?
I do. Lori,
Good
of course
name.
I
I
do.
came up with it all myself.
Oh, Lori. I don't. I've been so ill recently. I've been super
You
sick,
have?
and yeah, it makes. I keep forgetting stuff. So if
Oh,
I've
no.
forgotten something important, I'm real sorry. It's not because I don't care. Just know that
My
things are
parents
right
say
at the
that the
moment.
only thing that's important is that we love each other, and I love you loads.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Right, so it don't
Yes,
matter if you
you.
forget. Do you remember that you love us?
Yeah, obviously I remember that.
Well, then you're fine.
Do you remember where I lost Ruby?
Oh, that time when you went away, that first time to Absalom?
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
so.
What do you mean?
Well, I
You
forgot.
not
That's one of
remember
the things
that?
I forgot. Yeah, I forgot
Well,
where I
I
left
can
him.
tell you more. You came back and you got me this little stuffed toy. It was like this little cute little little vest, little cute toy, and it was real cute.
Oh.
I called him Vesky.
That I got from Absalom?
Yeah,
Was it real cuddly?
real cuddly.
Oh, I nearly got you something.
I was
Yeah.
little, so Mom says it wasn't my fault that I ate one of its eyes.
Oh, well, that's okay, but you still got
I
it?
still have it in my room.
What's it called?
Vesky.
Oh, Vesky.
Right.
I'm
'Cause
glad I got you something good because
Yeah.
I was gonna get you something else the other day and it
Really?
smashed
From
into-
abundance.
from where I was just now. I've been all over.
You've
It
been all-
smashed into
No one
a
tells
million
me
pieces
nothing.
in the
Everyone
floor.
just told me you were in abundance and that you were doing important work, and now you're saying you're all over.
Well,
I
I
don't
don't.
lie to me, Thally. You never lie to me. That's why I like you best. Don't tell Tully.
Okay. I won't. I just love you too much, and sometimes it hurts.
It's not possible to love anyone too much. That's what that's what Asker said. My dad Asker.
Can you show me all the cool places on the farm that I haven't been to for ages?
Absolutely. And with that, we will end it there with Sally back home, having a little tour of organic Creswell Farms. Creswell Organic Farms. Thanks very much, everyone.
Okay.
Oh my
boy.
god.
Thing is, I made
boy.
a gap in my
Yes, woo.
I made a gap in my notes for where I was going to fill in stuff that I was too into the RP to fill in, and I left a little bit at the bottom. But what I was like, we get tracks, so we have like a couple of lines of notes. Bollocks,
Yeah, I had
did
to
we?
go over to a next page. I was like, oh boy.
Oh god, right.
Oh no.
we
it's
on this
worse.
episode of Behind the Screens, we've got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Goddamn right.
Well, thank you very much, Emily Bates.
Thank you. That was fun.
So much
I get to do my Thali accent, which is great because it's all I want to do when I hear Shamini talk. And yay.
Adore it.
Wow.
Yeah, right.
Adore it.
So yes, sorry. If you want to hear more from us,
thank you.
we will be over on the Patreon with our behind the screen show where we talk about the stars we found because it's Starfinder. Did you get it? It's funny.
Get it.
And we'll talk about. It's a bit of a love-in every time. I have to say, I love it. I give away some secrets about stuff that I can reveal at this stage. And it's great fun. There's also, if you do join our Patreon, then you can see Shamini's notes, which I am intrigued to see from today. And nodding. They're doing, podcast listeners, they're doing insane nodding.
Oh, my head. I feel lightheaded.
I know.
Good.
I'm throwing back off the chair.
The other thing, if you join our Patreon now, there are tiers where you can enter a draw to be part of a home game with us. We're going to run these at least once a year. And if you subscribe at a certain level, you get entered into a tier to be part of that game and into a draw to be part of that game. We'll run a little home game and we'll have fun. We'll tailor it to who we get. But yeah, that's a rambly way of saying it. But it's a cool thing.
It's going to be dope.
It's going to be dope. Come join. If you want to hear more from us, you can find us on most socials at RPGeeks D&D. We're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, we're on TikTok. You can watch on YouTube. You can write nice comments about the episode on YouTube. It's a good place to do it because it's YouTube. They love a comment over there. If you're listening on podcasts, thank you so much. Please do follow and rate 5 stars and leave us a review. That would really help us out. And ding. And what else? And please do follow us on Twitch, where you can join us live on Mondays at 7 p.m. Sometimes we're pre-recorded, like today.
Episodes left to go, guys.
3 episodes left to go. We are 3/4 of the way through the Absalom Files. Boom, 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 boom. I think that's everything. Oh, you can find everything on our website. It's www.rpgeeks.co.uk. And we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.